like, to go back to your point about LeBron and when you was like, when people throw out like GOAT statuses, okay, now when we put the title of GOAT or whatever other title on it, now we got to nitpick to actually separate the better from the great, right? And that's just how I feel when it comes down to, like, you see constant arguments like, who's better, Cardi B or Nicki Minaj? Or who's the king of rap right now or the queen of rap? And it's like, I'm seeing like 80 million queens. I'm seeing, not 80 million queens, I'm seeing like 80 million kings. And then it's like when people were like, when Cardi B came out, like she had one good album. You know, it was a good, I mean, she had mixtapes, she had one good album. And I know people's like, she's the queen. And I'm like, well, when do we get so quick to rush giving somebody all of these accolades without seeing a more extensive catalog? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't put out one album, then all of a sudden, like, you just the queen or you're just the king. Or you can't just put out pop things that are good for the charts, then it falls off. Like, it's good for, like, the attention span. Next, you know, you're the king. It's like, when you say, like, for instance, when you want to look at Jordan, you be like, oh, these are the stats to reach Jordan or to surpass, whatever. It's like, kind of like, if we still got Jay-Z living and breathing, how in the world are we giving other people, like, king status when you see this man, the catalog that he had to work for to get to that, he had to outlive so many generations. And it's like, some people be like, oh, well, this person been around 5 years. For me, that's not enough. I need to see, like, your longevity. And it's like with Nicki Minaj, with Cardi B, it's like, oh, she's the queen. But I'm like, can we get a second album first?
Well, see, when it comes to music, music is so subjective.
Right.
So a lot of times, who's better, who's this, who's that, it's hard to really nail that down because, again, it goes back to what, in your opinion, defines GOAT. Like, what's your definition of GOAT?
So to piggyback, all right, so when it comes down to rap, right? For me, rap, the first rule in rap for me should be you should write your own raps. Mm-hmm. How could you be a king or queen of anything if you're not writing your own stuff? When did we get so loose with that hard rule? We're giving people king and queen statuses who don't even write their own stuff. Their writers are probably king and queens because they're writing your hits. But it's like, why are we so quick to be like, this person's the king when you didn't write probably the hits that are on these charts or you needed help with support? Like, imagine if, like, you're a big hardcore Jay-Z fan. If you found out he had a ghostwriter his whole career, would that change your opinion of him?
Yeah, it would. But I'm from a different cloth. Like, I'm from that 90s era. That's what I grew up on. That's what like, if I found out Nas didn't write Illmatic, that'd be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, because part of the art when you're a rapper is the lyrics. That's that's how you state your claim coming up. You know what I mean? It was all about who's the best rapper. You know what I mean? Like, you better than me? You think you better than me? Let's battle right now. Let's prove it. It was all about who is the best rapper. Somewhere along the line, it shift to that no longer being the topic of conversation and it changed
now
to
it's all money,
sales, hits, all of that other stuff that, you know, like I said, if that's someone's definition of GOAT, whatever, that's your definition of GOAT. But when it comes to just your rapping ability, for me, I agree with you on the ghostwriter thing. If you don't really write something, it's like if you're an artist. Like if someone else paints a picture for me, I can't walk around, I buy it from you. All right, hush, hush. Yeah, I painted this.
No, it don't work that way.
Because at the end of the day, the talent is in the project. So if someone else is responsible for this project and all I did was just, all right, so yeah, let me get the lyrics. Okay, I say it like this. Can you do a reference for me so I can hear how it sounds?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, anyone could do that.
Right, I could do that. Like, somebody could write me a good 16 and I'll probably be on the pop charts if somebody would do that for me. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of going back to your point when you was talking about LeBron, you're talking about changing the narrative. It's like, anytime you have that argument with somebody, they always want to change the narrative on what they think GOAT is. No, we need to have definitive rules on what the GOAT is. See, it's easy to do that with sports. You could talk about how much assists, mm-hmm. the points, the this. But when it comes to rap, the first thing that should be on the table is, did you write it? That should be the first thing that nobody should be able to argue with me. Did you write it? And if you had a ghostwriter on that, then there's no way you should take claim to that. Then there's no way you should sit on that throne. If you are deemed queen or king, you need to vacate that if you're not writing. Your pen needs to match. Like, you should be able to storytell, and your beats and your pen, your flow should be all yours. Now, it's one thing if you need help on the hook. I'm not mad at that. Because some people need a melody on the hook. They probably can't sing. Whatever case may be. One thing you want to write the hook. But if you are writing your rap, and you're talking about this is your story, and you're going around like this is my pen, and it's low key, you didn't write none of that, then to me, you're not a good rapper.
But there's a difference between ghostwriter and songwriter.
But that's okay for R&B people.
No. I'm even talking about rap. There's plenty of artists that have co-songwriters on records that help them with rap. Kanye West didn't write all his songs.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But now I ask you this. Is there something wrong? What would you rather from an artist? If I'm a rapper and I can rap, but my hooks is and the song structure is but I can rap, and I just put out this project and it's a mediocre project in terms of the songs, beat selection, but the bars is dope and I put it out. Is that better for you than if I get some help from someone who can structure a song and say, I want to put out the best project for my fans? I may not have written it all. It may not be all my ideas, but the project itself is great.
But that's the point I was making. It's one thing if you're writing a song and you need help on the hook and how to make this catch. That's different than somebody writing your whole thing. Mm-hmm. That's a difference. Like, it's one thing if I wrote a shell of something and all I need is the right beat, the right hook to make this pop, and I'm having somebody assist me on that versus somebody being like, here's your song, rap it like it's yours. There's rappers that do that. Here's your song, rap it like it's yours. That's not, you shouldn't even be in this conversation if that's what you're doing.
But then you have to separate artists from entertainer. Because then you have guys like Diddy, guys like Dr. Dre.
But Diddy don't go around saying he the king of rap.
Cardi B doesn't say that either, though.
No, I never said. I'm saying people. This is when we go back to the fans. It goes back to the fans. Cardi B never, I will say, she never once say I'm the best lyricist. All she cared about, and which I love about her, is just being herself and making the music. I love Cardi B. Let's get that straight. I love Cardi B. But it's the fans. And it's just not even, maybe Cardi B is just an example because she's like the hot thing right now that's always debated about. But it's just fans are so quick to slap a label on something without having definitive, like, what makes this person fit, like, say, what is the rules that make this person king or queen? Mm-hmm. What is the rules that say, and for me, the number one rule should be, did you write it? Did you write it? Because if you were taking somebody else's stuff, what's separating you from me? You could write me a rhyme and I could do it. Like, what's any different? Because you're a good entertainer, that's different. If you're a good entertainer and this song popping because of your essence, that's different. But are you a rapper? No, you're playing a role. To me, that's a role. You're not writing this. You didn't write this. You didn't put this together. You didn't sit in a room for hours and think about a hot song. You didn't construct this album. There's one thing in getting assistance. But for somebody to say, this is your song, to me, you're not a good writer. You're not a rapper.
So why is that okay for R&B artists and singers, but not rappers, in your opinion?
For me, in my opinion, when it comes down like R&B, sometimes like, when it comes down to certain like notes and things, like gets a little complex. When it comes like the notes and melodies and how you should hit certain things, or if like you have a song in your heart, like maybe sometimes you get writer's block when it comes down to like songs.
The same thing could happen for a rapper.
Then take a break, because I feel like when it comes to rap, that's not okay. Like it's like that's just been the rule when it first started.
But what if you have singers like you have the debate Michael Jackson versus Prince? Michael Jackson didn't write all his own songs.
No, he didn't.
So I mean, he's a great entertainer. I'm not saying he didn't write nothing, but a lot of artists in the industry, they have ghostwriters, they have songwriters, and honestly, it's jobs. Because you have a lot of people that can write records, but they may not be the most marketable. No. So they write it for people that are more marketable, and they can end up getting paid more as a result of that because it'd be a bigger hit. I could write a song, it could be dope. That doesn't mean it's going to be a hit, but I can give that same song to somebody else, and it may work, and it may hit. Even though I wrote it.
I understand the business side of it. Like, I'm not arguing the business. I'm arguing about why are we so quick to slap labels on certain people. Like, if you are taking a song from somebody and that is like, they're fulfilling their job, you're fulfilling your role, that's fine. But I feel like when it comes down to discussion, the tops, you should take yourself out the hat. I shouldn't be in this. I shouldn't be in this. So I shouldn't be like, if somebody's like, oh yeah, I deem boom, 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 my top 5, and out of those top 5, 3 of them didn't write nothing. They should be on something like, nah, wait, whoa. I shouldn't be considered that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be considered these things. Not saying like we as people, when did we like accept people just giving us copied homework? Like, basically, when did we accept that? That's never like something that should be, if that was I don't think that would have been the discussion years back. Like, and I know people's like, oh, but rap evolved. What, it got lazy? Yeah. Like, it got lazy?
You know what happened? The ushering in of the social media age and the internet age, what it did was it removed the filter. When you had people like, I would say like someone like a Soulja Boy was kind of like the spearhead of that. When you had people that were able to blow up off the internet, and become and get in the industry, and labels saw that, and labels and a lot of people in those positions saw, hey, we could work with this person from the block who's popping on the internet. They have their own fan base. We don't even have to do artist development. That's another thing. A lot of artist development in the industry was taken out. Labels do not want to sign artists and develop them anymore. They want to sign buzzes that have movements. They want to sign, if you have a following on Instagram, you can get a record deal because you have a following on Instagram. So the business aspect and being lazy in terms of sacrificing the artistry for the dollar is what made that cultural shift, in my opinion. That's where a lot of people stop caring about the artistry when it came to making the best project and me being the best. Because at the end of the day, for a lot of artists, they'll say, who cares if you're the best if you're broke? You can't feed your family, but you can rap. Good for you. But you can't feed your family.
But you're not marketable.
But you can't touch that stage and nobody knows your name, but you can spit fast. Who cares? So you have to ask yourself, what do you want? So a lot of it is penny pinching. Same thing with the videos. We go from an era where we come from. We had people like Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, Ludacris. You watch their videos, it's so creative, so different. So it is. Now, dudes be like, yo, all right, boom. You know what I'm saying? Shoot videos off your phone. Every video looks the same. You got in a little room with a bunch of girls. The videos are so cheap because at the end of the day, they don't feel the need to have to go to a Hype Williams or spend $1 million on a video for what? To put it on YouTube? There's no outlets for videos no more. There's no 106, there's no Rap City, there's no none of that. Yeah. There's none of that to debut. So at the end of the day, it's the penny pinching and it's a lot of the just lazy attempts at making a quick buck that has hurt not only the music industry, but the entertainment industry in general because it's so easy to get discovered and it's so easy to kind of slip through that void. Whereas in a certain era, you didn't have that outlet. So you had to be of a certain caliber to reach a certain status. There was a little more of a stop. The DJs played so much more of a significant role, where you had to, if Flex was banging your joint or if Clue, you had to have some sort of an outlet.
Flex
now you can get lucky. You can really get lucky and slide through the cracks and get yourself $1 million deal. Or you can have a bunch of followers on Instagram because you look good and you're in the bikini and all of this and say, I want to rap now. And now your audience is you got a bunch of thirst buckets on your page that are gonna follow you.
And then you have a bunch of people just willing to give you stuff just because they want their stuff out there.
So it's the hustle. It became more of a hustle and it became more about the money and it became more about the how can we get this done for the cheapest and the easiest way as opposed to I want to be the best. Because being the best does not necessarily equate to you being the biggest. Being the most successful.
So do you deem when it comes, so now it goes back to going back to what do we now consider the rules of being the best in? And then when people have arguments, they always want to factor in net worth or sponsors or deals or money. Because when that whole Remy Martin and Nicki Minaj thing happened, what's the first thing everybody said? Oh, but Nicki's still making more money. She's still up here. Versus the fact that probably bar from bar, Remy would probably be way better than Nicki Minaj. So what you're saying is the bar and the talent don't matter. It's about are you profitable and how you going to skyrocket yourself as a brand. So it's is that the new wave of considering, are those the new rules now? Net worth, marketability, entertainment? Is that the new brackets to say this person's the king and queen?
I mean, at the end of the day, let's just be real here. It's the same thing as championship rings in sports. Is it the be all end all definition of you being the greatest? No. But is it a huge part of your legacy? Yes. If you never win a championship, I don't know who's considered the GOAT that has never won anything. That's the point of playing, to win. When you put out an album, no one says, yo, I got this fire album, bro. I'm going to put this shit out. It's going to flop. You know what I'm saying? The point, when you want to distribute anything majorly, you want it to do good. You want to go platinum. I don't know no artist that doesn't want to sell.
Right.
You may not want to sell out or be a certain way to sell, but you want people to hear your work. You want people to see.
But is it your work though?
Well,
that's my point. You want people to hear your work, but it's your face, it's your image, but is it your work?
Well, then you got to get into the conversation of somebody hiding who they are and what they do, as opposed to somebody that openly, Dr. Dre openly admits
he has Ghostwriter
projects. Yeah. Puffy will tell you, don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. At the end of the day, we don't have to question that. But I've never heard nobody call Puffy the greatest rapper of all time or Dr. Dre the greatest rapper of all time. But they're great entertainers. They're great at what they do. So for me personally, in my personal opinion, if you don't write your stuff, or you don't write nothing, you're essentially just a face or an idea, I don't have a problem with that as long as that's what you're open about. You tell us that's like, yeah, you know.
That is one thing Cardi B would say. She did like, she was like, I had her right next to me.
And like I said, I've never heard Cardi B say, I'm the best rapper, I'm the best MC. So because you don't claim to try to be that, I don't judge you as that. If you claim to be the best rapper and you claim to be the best lyricist, then when I hear you, I'm looking at your lyrics.
All right, so Nicki Minaj, where she said that.
Nicki Minaj can spit. I don't take that away from Nicki Minaj. She can spit. I think Nicki Minaj is where she is because she has a great blend of all that. She can go pop. She can go street. She can do all of that. So she has a great blend and she can actually rap. I think that was the frustration with the Remy battle because so many of us wanted to see her go back at it.
But she came out with freaking No Frauds.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. No Frauds. that song was like, come on. Lewis.
Well, I mean.
And then you come out with No Frauds. Like, why?
But I
was hoping it was going to be a battle, and it didn't happen. Came on, No Frauds.
But like I said, but you was hoping it was going to be a battle.
I was hoping
because she can't put the pen to the paper. Nicki Minaj can spit. You know what I'm saying? So when you got two MCs that are going to go head to head, we want to see a good battle. Anytime you have two rappers that are throwing shots, Drake and Pusha T, Cardi B, even with Cardi B and Nicki, where it's like people want to see, okay, so diss her. Because we're looking at it like, okay, you can't out-rap Nicki Minaj. So you're not going to diss her. You're going to say all of this, but you're not going to diss her. You know what I'm saying? So then it becomes like the contradicting argument of, so when it was Nicki versus Remy, it was all about the hits. It was all about the money.
Right, like,
but when it's Cardi and
now you
Nicki,
want to talk about the pen.
Bars.
Now you know, because that's the thing. That was the thing with Nicki Minaj. I'm like, wait, no. Because when Remy was on some like battle me bar for bar, you didn't want to do that. You let your fans do all the talking about, well, she's still making this. She's still da-da-da-da. She's still. But now it's Cardi. You know that's an easy win for you bar for bar. You want to switch it and be like, oh, I want to put us in a room, pen for pen. No. Why didn't you want to do that with Remy? Remy said that, you said no. Now you try to do it with Cardi B, who's not trying to pick a fight, and you over here talking about some bar for bar. Let's do it, pen for pen. I'm like, no, it was all that energy with Remy. If you're the queen, you should have the energy with anybody. Anybody could get it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you should have that energy. Like, just give it up. Well,
at the end of the day, we as fans, we like the drama, we like the BS, we like the shoot. We like to look at all of that. But at the end of the day, when you're in that position of power, you can pick and choose
who you want to. You're right. It's like the Creed argument.
And at the end of the day, you've earned that. You've earned that right to do it because of your continued level of success. So you get to the point where it's the Floyd Mayweather effect. When people say, oh, he cherry picks, he wasn't doing that in the beginning of his career.
He took anything.
He's calling out everybody. Then you get to that point where it's like, I'm the A-list, I'm that dude.
I'm the one that's gonna get you money if I fight you.
So we're gonna do this on my terms now. So I don't have no problem with anybody in that position.
Especially when you have something to lose.
Yeah, because you have more to lose. Like Drake. Drake has more to lose going against pretty much anyone he goes against. So anybody he does respond to or Nicki responds to, it essentially helps them more because it's more talked about. And if they don't feel like going back and forth with you, they don't have to. They've earned that right to do that.
So then it's like, this is my argument though. How come, this is another argument, not even similar, but how come when it comes down to female rappers, why is it that there only could be one?